So this is the project for a private house, and it's an existing house, and I'm looking at how you might reclad and extend it. It has a double garage, and you might consider sort of building over the garage area. But at the moment, I'm sort of currently blocked with how you might actually sort of reclad this building. So I'm going to turn to the divergent deck. So what I've done here is I've just simply opened the pack, and I've just pulled, the pack's already been shuffled, and I've pulled the top card off. And the card reads, "Be messy, frantic and noisy, e.g. charcoal and drum and bass." So what I'm doing here is I've printed out the elevations, so I've screenshotted them and just printed them out. And I've put on some drum and bass. I'm working on my table, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put the drawings on the table and get some charcoal out and do exactly what it says on the card. I think this is kind of an interesting idea because it ups the tempo of the work. So you're shifting from on a computer where you're working quite detailed, and here you're working sort of more faster. Although when I started off it's a bit kind of tenuous. I haven't used charcoal for a while. So this is the first attempt at an elevation, which is the rear of the house, and I initially find it a bit difficult. I'm just drawing lines on, I'm drawing the openings in one direction and then the sort of cladding in the other. That's what produces this quite rough thing. What I quite like about the drawings is because I've screenshotted it, you can still see the computer sort of ingredients and layer on the sheet. So I discard that and I move to the front elevation, and I feel my tempo's increased here. I'm getting more comfortable with using the charcoal, and I quickly sort of sketch it out again. It's also speeded up within the video to highlight this. And I start to get some quite nice effects now, and I kind of quite like the textural quality of the charcoal in this case, and the sort of strong line that it gives for the roof, which is something I hadn't thought about. I then scan this drawing in, so I can put it back into the model. I've switched off the drum and bass now. This is the PDF as it's come in scanned. And I've brought it into Photoshop and just rotated it right round so it's in the sort of right orientation for the elevation. I decided to invert the image because I think it gives it a slightly stronger sort of definition to go on the screen. And then bring this into the SketchUp model. And first of all, it sort of clips to the ground plane, and there's this sort of process of rotating it and bringing it up to match the plane of the elevation, which is quite quick to do. You sort of move this around, and you've got this sort of X-ray between the two things. And I just start to play with it within the, scale it against the model. And that's something you can see in this. I'm getting to the point where I'm pushing and pulling different elements of the model out. What I kind of really like about this is these edges as you go around into the doorway, and the way the drawing is extruded beyond its original sort of position, and it creates this sort of texture which I'm quite excited about. And I kind of like the sort of idea that as you go into this property, you're actually pulling some of the elements from the facade into the inside, so it's informing the depth. It's like a trace that's sort of wrapping round. And then I want this sort of feature element, potentially, and I thought it might be a good idea to start to try and pull that up at this point here, which changes the roof geometry, and I don't know, this could be sort of an entrance feature, which is like a chimney that you sort of walk around. So it's creating this entrance and this sort of depth to the project. This could be translated in architecture into some lightweight concrete panels, which are overclad over the structure, which have another layer of insulation, and this could potentially go all the way around the building. I think in this instance the divergent deck prompted me to change tempo and medium. It was really useful. It actually added detail to the project. Where I started off being quite sort of crude and messy, it made me think in a more detailed way about the materials and even go beyond the elevation. I consider this to be a success.